Hello viewers, I'm Red2006 and I'm very pleased to have you join me on the latest leg of our scenic tour through the Johto region in Pokemon Gold version. As a quick recap on our last day's adventuring,
I actually spent quite a bit of time yelling at myself in editing for making a lot of mistakes. Then we took on Chuck in the Cyanwood City gym and Leon thrashed him. Then we scaled the lighthouse and finally cured Ampharos. Time for a fishing trip today, then we're going to battle Jasmine. It's a lovely day in Olivine City, perfect for doing some fishing. I have Mersey at the front of the party, and there's a Pokemon I can catch in the actual city before I head into the harbour area. Let's get going. Can take a while, but eventually we will find something. Not much is biting today. Oh no, we've got something. And we have Krabby. Krabby is the most commonly caught Pokemon when fishing in Olivine City with the Good Rod. You'll find a fair few along the way. I will spare you most of the catches. I'll cut to when I find what I'm looking for. Sadly, this isn't it. So, let's cut to when I find the Pokemon I'm looking for. Ah, here we go. Fishing is all about patience, and I've been rewarded with Corsola, a water rock type Pokemon. It's unfortunately not that great. It did get a few buffs to its stats in Generation 7, but it's still not fantastic, unfortunately. Kind of sad since it can look fairly cute. Hopefully I'll be able to catch it and add it to the collection. Corsola only appears during the morning and the day. Okay, I don't want to risk anything more. Plenty of Great Balls, so we'll see how this goes. And there we are, we have ourselves Corsola. Corsola, the coral Pokemon. It continuously sheds and grows. The tip of its head is prized as a treasure for its beauty. I do intend to use it someday. Today isn't going to be that though. So, we've grabbed Corsola. We can now head into the harbour. 2 Pokemon can be found while fishing here. One of them you've seen, which is Shelder, and the other one you haven't. Let's get going, and as always, I'll cut to when I... And here's Shelder. You know all about this because you saw it when we were travelling over to Cyanwood City. So not too much to say. I will say at the moment though that a lot of things happened off screen. I wanted to do a couple of extra things after I finished yesterday's recording session. I managed to catch Shuckle, Wobbuffet and Krabby off screen, all of which cooperated. Only took one Great Ball. When I'm recording, absolute strife. Off screen, completely fine. I also ran into Suicune, and I'll insert a little bit of evidence after this turn finishes just to show I'm not fibbing. And well, that was pretty much it really. I did fail at catching Raticate because I kept getting critical hits. Not that it bothers me too much. Okay. Well, if I can't chip it down with Mersey, I'll switch to Torture, see what I can do there. Using Withdraw helps my cause, admittedly. So this should be alright. And away we go. There we go. Shelder, the bivalve Pokemon. It swims facing backwards by opening and closing its two-piece shell. It is surprisingly fast. To be fair, I think Cloyster's base speed is 70, which is pretty impressive for a Pokemon with its bulk. Similar deal with Onix. Still not great on the special defense though. We've found one of the Pokemon we're looking for. I'm going to continue until I find the other one. Here we are! I'm actually going to add a bonus spotlight for this Pokemon because it's become one of my favourites in recent times. I consider it rather unfortunate that Chinchou and Lantern tend to be found in either out-of-the-way locations or much later on in the game when you already have a water or electric type on your team. They're pretty good Pokemon in my eyes, and I've enjoyed using them. Water Electric is a pretty solid type, and they have access to some pretty good moves, given that decent electric moves are pretty hard to come by in Generation 2. Lantern also packs massive HP, though its defences aren't exactly fantastic. Nonetheless, it can sponge an attack or two, and with only a couple of weaknesses along the way, it might be able to tank a few hits. That high HP will definitely soak up some blows, so if you focus on their defences, you can have a Pokemon which will hold out pretty well. Another element I think they have going for them is Lantern's design. Chinchou is pretty distinct, being somewhat based on an anglerfish, but Lantern combines the anglerfish with a dolphin and actually looks kind of adorable. It's friendly and helpful, and if you do manage to find them and give it a try, you will find they're pretty dependable Pokemon. So let's catch Chinchou. I hope this works. Okay, lots of Pokemon with Supersonic. Okay, well, actually, we'll give Sunny a try. Use Hypnosis. Lucky us. Thunderwave normally has an accuracy of 100. And here we go. Got it. Actually doing pretty well for catching today. Chinchou, the angler Pokemon. It shoots positive and negative electricity between the tips of its two antennae and zaps its enemies. So we've wrapped up all the Pokemon we can get for now. So we'll head back to Olivine City. And with the magic of editing, it's nighttime, and we are ready to go and catch Staryu. You will probably notice we've travelled through time and space a little bit. My team is a bit stronger because I'm recording this at a later date. Things got a bit hectic. Anyway, let's get fishing. And here we go, we have found Staryu, the last Pokemon we need to catch in this area. Sunny is taking care of the job. Shouldn't be too much trouble, hopefully. But given that I'm a higher level, things might go wrong. Okay, I thought I'd knocked it out. It's got Recover though. Okay, we'll try and put it to sleep and we'll have a better chance of catching it. And there we go, caught fairly easily, which is pretty nice. Staryu, the star-shaped Pokemon. At night, the centre of its body slowly flickers with the same rhythm as a human heartbeat. So there we are, that has wrapped up our fishing adventure in Olivine City. We are now going to travel through time and space with the magic of editing, and we're back to daytime again. Top up our team at the Pokemon Center, and we can now go and battle the gym. Plenty to do today. So, there is something you will notice about the Olivine City gym once we get into it. There are no other trainers, just the gym leader. A bit of a surprise if I'm going to be honest, but I suppose they didn't have a lot of steel types to work with. And the main ones were actually fairly strong, so maybe they didn't want to throw the players off, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm leading with Torture. So we talk to Jasmine, and she will introduce herself. She's still fairly meek, but she has plenty of inner strength as well. And I have to say, she looks absolutely cute. Just as good in the remakes. Magnemite is her first Pokemon. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a Magneton, she has 2 Magnemite. Torture should be able to get past these pretty easily. He hasn't done much for a while, so I'm gonna back him in. Alright, that is a bit bothersome. But we can take care of it. There we are, 1 down and some decent experience. Alright, Jasmine is leading with her ace already. I'm going to keep Torture out for the moment. Our main spotlight Pokemon for today is Steelix. No two ways about it really. Onix was terrible. It had fantastic defense and decent speed for a rock type, but everything else was dreadful. Rattata had higher attack and was also slightly faster, so it was likely to be more dangerous. Steelix came along in Generation 2 and improved everything drastically. While it sacrificed a bit of speed to do so, its HP, attack and defense shot up, and its special attack and special defense got a little bit of a boost as well. Steelix actually has some pretty good resistances and will hold out very well against any physical attacks. It is going to suffer against special attacks, which will be your main method of bringing it down. Anything fast with a good water or fire move should defeat it pretty easily. Trying to use ground or fighting moves will take a bit longer. While some steel types do tend to overshadow Steelix along the way, and its relatively modest attack doesn't really do it any favours, it's nonetheless a great defensive Pokemon and can be particularly helpful if you know how to use it. I do wish it had access to Iron Head though, because Iron Tail is not exactly the most dependable move around. Even so, it does have access to some pretty good moves in later generations, so give it a try and see what you can do. And let's see how Torture handles himself. Does this have any ground moves? I can't remember. It has Rock Throw, that's right. That's doing a fair chunk of damage. So, my best bet at the moment is probably switching to Ruby. Ruby can resist Rock Throw, but she does have to watch out for Iron Tail. That's the other big weakness. What will Magnitude give us? Alright, so it's not doing much damage. And Irontail actually hit. I took a gamble and I lost. Yep, I should have trusted my instincts. And this time I'm going with Mersey. Steelix's special defense isn't great. I didn't want Mersey to take the super effective hit. This should do enough damage. Yup, nice job, Mersey. Sorry about that one, Ruby. That's definitely on me. Very poor calculations on my part. And her last Pokemon is a bit underwhelming because, as I said, it's another Magnemite. Torture can take care of that. Much better Steel types would come into existence after this. Not that the ones in this game aren't great, but there's a bit more variety and versatility in them. Steelix is good, but it's got Thunderbolt. Didn't think they learned Thunderbolt in these games. I was absolutely sure. I thought they only got Thundershock. I'm going to have to look that up. Let's see. We'll just go with Mersey again. Future me, put that up on screen. Do they actually get Thunderbolt? Alright, well that's thrown me for a bit of a loop. I really shouldn't underestimate Jasmine. Like I said, she's hiding a lot of inner strength. Thanks for the help, Mersey. Well, you're not exactly lacking yourself. I mean, I underestimated you and I paid for it. But we have the Mineral Badge. And we get the TM for Irontail. It's useful, but it's inaccurate. 75 accuracy, 100 power, so it will hit pretty hard, but don't count on it. Problem was, no Steel-type moves had 100 base accuracy until Generation 4. So we'll patch up the team. And now we can make our way back to Ecruteak City. There's admittedly not a lot for me to do, so I'll tell you what, I will cut to when I get there. Alright, here we are in Ecruteak City, and we are finally ready to go the wrong way before we head to the east. I think for now, I'll actually put Bellsprout in my party, because there is a little bit of exploration I can do. Let's see, I think I will actually have to move them around. The fact you have to save is kind of clunky. But what I'm going to do is I will move Mersey out of the party for the time being. And I will put Bellsprout in because I'm going to show you the route through Mount Mortar. In fact, there are more places which involve using Flash than I initially said early on. So I feel like an idiot. I said it was just Dark Cave and Rock Tunnel. You will need it for the Whirl Islands, and you will need it for Mount Mortar, so I apologise. Now there is an item up here, and it's an Ultra Ball. That'll be handy. If I run into Suicune again, I'm going to throw it and hope. Maybe. So you can cross the water there, and we head inside Mount Mortar. So, Bellsprout, Flash. You can find Marill with a 1% chance here under normal circumstances. If you have a Swarm, which is accessed by a trainer much later in the game, you'll find them fairly easily. Torture's going to go back to the lead. We have a couple of trainers we can battle in here, and you can also wind up going the wrong way. Oh, Machop. Haven't caught one of those yet. Fortunately, not doing much damage with Quick Attack. Very helpful. Still a long way off. It seems like a long way off anyway. Learning Flame Wheel. A level and a bit, but it's a long way away given the crummy moves we have. But we caught Machop pretty easily, that's something. Machop, the superpower Pokemon. Always brimming with power, it passes time by lifting boulders. Doing so makes it even stronger. So there we are. Another new Pokemon, and we can move on and venture through the area. You can go down a ladder to do some further exploration and grab an item. Well, thanks to a Zubat interrupting me, Torture is now level 30, but I'm going to put a Repel on. Where are we? I will have to deposit a few items, it seems. So there we are. Let's get exploring. What do we have? It's an Ether. You can come back here with Surf and Waterfall. And you'll need Strength as well. Lots of HMs. So you can see one of the Strength boulders just up here. Head along this way, and I think there's a trainer in here. At least I thought there was. Which is part of the reason I'm wandering around in the dark. Not in the dark, wandering around just like a fool in general. Maybe they are only there in the remakes. I'll have a quick look around. Either way, this is a good little demonstration of what we will be encountering later on, because we do have to go through Mount Mortar. And we do have to make sure we actually have a space in our party. Looks like those trainers are only here in the remakes. So we can journey a bit further through, but I'm not going to make you sit through that. There's not an item in that rock. I think I'll stick to what I was going to do. So we've gone through here, the Repel has worn off. And we can now leave Mount Mortar. Couldn't get out without running into a couple of Zubat along the way. Anyway, we have completed the journey along Route 42, that's it. Shouldn't forget that number. Anyway, I think this is a good spot to wrap things up. We've done a fair bit today already, so we can take a bit of time to have a breather. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next installment of our scenic tour through the Johto region as we continue battling opponents in this area.